Hi, Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own personal struggles, having borderline personality disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety and panic attacks, depression. I talk about narcissism and my narcissistic mother who used to abuse me. I talk about schizophrenia, and I wrote a book about my schizophrenic father, Life with My Schizophrenic Father. It's available on Amazon and the link is in the descriptions down below. I talk about my unethical psychologists that sexually abused me, and the links to those books that are available on Amazon are down below in the description. I talk about a plethora of other mental health related topics, but only as a former patient of 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology, so I cannot diagnose you or give you a professional opinion. All I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me and respectful. Be kind to other people who comment. We don't need to agree on everything. Variety is the spice of life, but we always need to show each other respect and kindness. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Stick around, take a chance, hit that little box that says subscribe on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. That way you'll be notified every time I have a video out. It's 100% free, so no risk involved. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it with your friends, your family, on social media platforms. Let's spread the love. Let's build a community of friendship, and please share your own struggles if you feel free to. I love to hear your opinions. I love to know about you personally and what you're struggling with, and I will answer back every comment that I receive. All right, today's topic of this video is how my repressed emotions made me sick. Now, I did have repressed emotions practically all my life. I had, not only did I repress my emotions, I had amnesia, okay? So I blocked out chunks of my memories from my severely abusive childhood when my schizophrenic father, who was in a mental hospital because he was delusional, he heard voices, he was psychotic, he was dangerous, left me all alone with a narcissistic mother who used to brutally beat me, belittle me, shame me, call me horrific names, break my toys. I mean, I have other videos on that, but a lot of that time I blocked out, so I don't have all the memories. I don't remember like specific things. I've blocked it out. I've repressed so much of what happened in my early childhood. And I became physically sick from doing that. I would get severe panic attacks that I couldn't breathe. Even when I had to open the windows, I remember one time when I was little, my mother was screaming at me because I had the window open in the winter time because I couldn't breathe. I was trying to get some air from the outside, you know, the cold air in the winter. I couldn't breathe, so I'm opening the window and trying to, you know, get some air to fill my lungs, because it was scary. I thought I was dying. There was many times I could have sworn I was dying. It made me physically sick. I completely detached from my feelings, told everyone I was fine. Didn't show any emotion at times, didn't show appropriate emotion. And this happened too with my sexual abuse from my psychologist, like the last video that I did about my sexual abuse from my psychologist. When I was going through it, I repressed it so much that I didn't really know I was being abused. Can you believe that? I didn't know it. I was too in the forest to see the green. So I kind of like deluded and fooled myself. A lot of people do this when they repress their emotions. They fool themselves into thinking that, you know, this is normal or it's their fault. It's happening because it's my fault. A lot of people, a lot of former friends I know had said, like, when their mother beat them, that she wasn't, that she was just disciplining me. I was being bad, I deserved it. A lot of people have this, carry the shame inside of them that, and I didn't even carry that. I just completely repressed. I just completely had amnesia. I just completely blocked it out. I didn't even say like some of my other friends that I knew saying that, that it was their fault, that their parent was just disciplining them, that they were bad, they deserved it. Not seeing it for what it was, denial. This is what people who have repressed emotions do. They deny, by saying it's their fault, that they were bad, that they deserved it. They had denial. I denied it in another way by not even acknowledging that it even happened. At least a couple of friends I knew, they acknowledged that it happened, but they denied that it was wrong, or they denied that there was something wrong. This isn't wrong. This is just, I was bad. That's why my mother beat me and gave me a black eye, because, I deserved it. She was just disciplining me, Look at all the children, the adults out there today. They're the way they are because they never were disciplined. I was disciplined. So they'll not see it as something wrong. They'll, make excuses for it. Me, on the other hand, I didn't do that. I just blocked it out. I repressed my emotions so much that instead of making excuses for it, I didn't even, I couldn't even admit that it even occurred. So I don't know which is worse. Another thing that I've dealt with all my life is struggling with emotional intimacy. And struggling with emotional intimacy, and I'm not just talking about sexual intimacy, all right? Because sexual intimacy, and emotional intimacy, you can have emotional intimacy during sexual intimacy, but you can also have emotional intimacy in a non-sexual relationship, all right? And like with a best friend, platonic friend, or with a parent, or with an adult child, or even a younger child. Emotional intimacy, I struggled with that my whole life because I repressed my feelings. I did not share my feelings with anyone. Sometimes I just was so detached from my feelings, that I couldn't even name my feelings. And I couldn't even show my feelings to my friends or anyone. So I couldn't cry. I would just, be so detached, Even in therapy, when I went to therapy and I would share with the therapist what happened to me, even after all the years I finally owned up what happened to me, I would be so detached from what happened to me that I could share it like a reporter reporting the news. They're reading off a prompter and they're reporting the news, but there was no feeling. It was like I was reading off a prompt. When I talked to my therapist, I could tell the therapist what happened to me, but I didn't show any emotion. I was totally detached from the incidents. So I could explain the incident, I could talk about the incidents, but I showed no my feelings were detached from it. Like I was telling you, like I was reading a book, like I'm sitting reading a book, a fictional book, and this is just fiction, and I'm just reading it to you, and I'm not showing any of the emotion. I'm totally detached. That's also called dissociation. I'm dissociated from, detached from the incident, what happened. So I really couldn't get close to anyone I really couldn't. They got close to me. They shared with me their traumas and everything, but you know, I'm the one who always was fine. I'm the one who, you know, yeah, I'm the one that they came to with their problems. I never went to anyone with my problems because I just repressed everything. I repressed my feelings. And then this led up to an internal inferno inside of me. Like I had rage building up, building up, building up. Because if you repress something for so long, there's just so much of it, you know, that you can, there's so much of it that you can push down, you know. And I pushed it down and I pushed it down, that, you know, I would just go and, you know, I would go off sometimes over the least little thing, and no one would understand what happened or why I was reacting to what I was reacting to. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense because I was really repressing everything and then just all of a sudden exploding out of nowhere, you know, and it just like that, you know. It's just like a fire in the wall, you know. That's the best example I think I can give of it. You know, when there's a house fire, when a fire builds up in the walls, you know, it can be a horrible fire, but you don't know it. Unless you start feeling the walls, you know, are getting warm. You know, an electrical fire, you're not even aware that it's happening. It's so insidious. It builds up in the walls, and you don't even know it. There's no smoke. You can't smell it or something, and then it just like completely implodes. And that's the best example I can give you what was happening to me. That my feelings were so repressed. It was like a fire building up in the walls that there was no smoke. You couldn't smell it. You couldn't see smoke. You didn't know, because no one goes around feeling how hot the walls are. And it was building up and it was building up, and then all of a sudden in your sleep, the fire just like ignites and it just the house caves in, you know. And that's how I would best describe, you know, what happened to me. I was always very agreeable with friends. You know, I would agree to anything. I wouldn't stand up for myself. No one knew how much I was suffering. I would never let on how much I was hurting. I'd always say I'm fine. Yeah, everything's okay. You know, one of those people, the friends that you turn to, and you know, you never know. You don't know that they're suffering because they're always smiling, cracking jokes, or saying they're fine, and they never talk about their problems. They never open up because, again, like I said, I have a fear of emotional intimacy. So I really never got close to, I'd say the only friend I was close to that I really showed my true colors with was Julia. Because I'm thinking back about all my friendships. I didn't have many friendships, by the way, only a few in my lifetime. And she was the one, I told you that time, I mentioned several other videos when I got so upset with her that I just slapped her right across the face. And you know, she really saw me. I've acted psychotic with her. I mean, I acted like a raging lunatic with her. She's probably the only friend, even my best friend Holly, who I had for 12 years, I mentioned her in other videos. I never acted like that at all with Holly. Never. I acted calm, cool, and collective. She never saw me cry. She never saw me get angry. Never raised my voice. Never ever put a hand on her. Never did anything. She didn't really know me. But Julia knew me. We were best friends in high school and through the 2 years of college. And then after that, of course, my husband knew me too. My husband and Julia were and the 2 psychologists that sexually abused me, Dr. Richard Geist and Dr. James Barbaria. So that's probably 4 people in my lifetime, except for my parents, okay? Except for my parents, that really got to know that I, let it out. Another thing that people who repress their emotions do, and I'm very famous for this, is hold on to grudges. Hold on to, and they can be very vindictive. I hold on to all the pain that people have caused me, and I don't let go of it. Even like years and years and years and years later, it's still with me, and also thinking about it and bringing it up as it feels like it just happened, as if it was yesterday. Do you feel that way, especially if you're in therapy? I know in therapy I detached from my emotions, and it was like a reporter. That's because the reason I detached from my emotions is because if I ever really felt the emotions, I'd probably go out and kill someone. I mean it. My emotions are so like volatile, and so like I've been so traumatized and then re-traumatized in therapy that I could never let that out. It's like letting opening up Pandora's box and letting all the bad demons out. You can never let that out. That's why it stays so repressed. You can never let that out, because God forbid the fury that would come if I ever let those repressed emotions out. But I do hold on to grudges. Now that I'm much more psychologically aware and admit what happened to me, that I was abused in my childhood, and that I was re-traumatized and abused, sexually abused again in my therapies, I have a lot of deep rage against my abusers. And how I deal with that rage now, because I repressed it for so many years. I didn't even own it. I didn't even say I was abused. But now that I have owned it, I have a newsletter on LinkedIn, and I have over 3,000 followers who subscribe to that newsletter. And the newsletter is called Unethical Therapy, and I write and talk about in the newsletter in graphic details what happened to me. I mean, I write in my books on Amazon about what happened to me, not only as a child severely abused, but also as an adult severely abused, sexually abused by therapists. I write about that. Writing is very helpful for me. It could be helpful for you. You don't have to be a professional writer to write. You don't even have to, you could have a journal and write in it. You don't have to share it with anyone, or you could just share it with a special person or two. It's up to you what you want to do about that. I come on YouTube and I bring up these things now that I've repressed all my life. I'm no longer repressing the feelings. I mean, I repress them. Another thing people do who repress their emotions, they use substance abuse, to numb the feelings down, numb them down, with alcohol, marijuana, vapor pens, or hardcore drugs, cocaine, heroin, crack. I don't know. I never took any drugs, so I only drink. But that's another way to repress your feelings that I have used, and I still use, is to numb them down by substances, medication, maybe some prescription medication, maybe, recreational drugs, or whatever have you. Just something that, numbs, represses your feelings, because you can't deal, so a lot of times, I repress my feelings down all day. I'm in a rage all day, and then I have my wine, 2 or 3 glasses of wine at night, and that kinds of, softens the feelings. So, alcohol well, you know, it puts you in a stupor. It makes me forget. And then when I'm sober, I relive it all as if it happened yesterday. And so that's where I'm at now. I'm still battling it. Every day is a battle for me. Let me know which, you know, how, if you have repressed feelings, what is it, you know, how do you deal with the repressed feelings? Let me know where you're at, you know. I love to hear from you. I love when people share with me what they're going through, so we can learn from each other. All right, leave some comments and let's have an ongoing discussion about it. Until next time, take care.